Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping
Great.
into the future. Songs from like the 70s and 80s were sad. Was it the
70s and
90s?
80s.
That was the 90s, I think, too.
What time keeps on slipping?
Time keeps on, because it was in Space Jam, wasn't it? What is that? Time
I don't.
keeps
Was
on.
it in Space Jam? I don't know.
I feel like I heard when he was, yeah, fly like an eagle, when he was like playing with himself. Pause. When he was when he was hooping by himself, Michael Jordan, like practicing before they played against the Monstars.
Okay. Well, I don't know the specific. I don't know the specific soundtrack of
That's
Space
so
Jam.
why don't you know that?
I don't
God,
know it
Victor.
because
Come
I
on,
do
man.
other things.
You have a life and a
No.
wife.
Just like I focus on other things. Like
Stuff that
if you want to know, like a list of works by Gendry Tartakovsky, then I can
hey
probably help you
yo,
out.
list them. Oh, and the song was made in 1976, and it wasn't the Space Jam soundtrack. And what's the dude's name that you just said?
Gendry Tartakovsky. He's like
And
he made Samurai Jack, and
oh, that dude.
he also made Primal, which is like probably one of the best cartoons ever made.
And
That's
Dexter's
happening right now.
Lab.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
else did
yeah,
he?
exactly.
I didn't know that's how you said his name. That's crazy.
It was it's something Titan. He made this robot, this short-lived cartoon with a giant robot, and it was called Something Titan. I forgot exactly what it was.
Was it? Oh, if you're talking about that show, I love Symbiotic Titan because you had Brian Posehn as one of the voices.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's right.
that one's dope, and they had a
Look at
clip
that.
that. Hey, Felicia Outlaw, welcome to Arts Academy. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's a dope show. But
Yeah,
it's the
right.
Shake and Bake It Booty Quake. So y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're online, you seen that video of that cheerleader dancing trying to get that dude to help with her homework, and the song is like Shake and Bake It Booty Quake It, roll it around, don't break it. That's from that show. It's
Oh, that's
excellent.
from Symbiotic Titan. That's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
excellent
was
show.
such a weird show. It was great, but it was also just so weird. I loved it. It
Very
was so
weird.
good.
Yeah, he's super talented.
Yeah, he's amazing.
See, I'm on your side. Oh, and I found out that was a Seal cover from Space Jam. That was not the original song. That was a Seal cover. So it was from the 70s and the 90s. Look what you learn on Arts Academy podcast.
I feel like on a Wiki Listen, the Wiki Listen podcast, I really think I should go back, and I've got to go back and read about Seal, because I've known about Seal for years, and I've seen like music and videos and stuff like that, but I've never read his biography and be like, exactly why do you have scars on your face? Like I don't know
I
exactly.
remember I read it somewhere, but I don't remember either. And he's
Yeah, I
done
don't
so
remember.
much.
Yeah.
Was he born? See, now you're gonna make me look it up, but now I don't want to ruin it if you're gonna do it on the episode. What up, Fief? Oh, hey, girl. I know you are. I am I where I try to remember everybody's like name for real.
Yeah.
I feel it's rude not to. Can we don't curse on here, right? No, we try not to curse.
Right. We try not to curse, but you know what we can do? You
Mm.
can actually, I can actually give you the login so that you can be in control again. If you go back and you log in with my email, and then I send you the login
Oh
security
yeah.
thing, so we can actually handle that right now. Wow. Oh. How are we going to do that? Because you guys have my screen as well.
So
Whoops. Hello. What?
so I accidentally had clicked log in while you were saying to log in.
Oh,
And
I was like, what happened?
then it kicked me out. Yeah, like
Here. I think we can do something, but I gotta do some. Don't worry about it right now. We could do it.
okay.
But it would be great. It would be great so you can help with the
The
comments and stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna do
Actually,
it for
maybe that's the way we can do it. Let me think. How about
yeah.
this?
If you
Since we're
send
in,
it, I can
since
just
we're,
open it another one.
yeah. When we're doing the countdown, I am. But I'm trying to figure out how to do it with the countdown on the screen because that's my computer screen. I can't.
Text me.
Oh wait. No. So you have to go and log in with my. You have to go log in with my email. Then it sends me an email, and I have to give you that. Then it sends me an email, and I have to give you that number, that number. So why don't you? Yeah, you should go try to log in with my email, and I'll open up a screen, and I'll send you the number with email. So actually, I think you can do that even while you're in this on another.
Mm-hmm.
So we can.
I just said, is it your business one?
No, it's my regular Gmail.
Okay, let me see. Just to the audience right now, what's up, y'all? If you're not using StreamYard and you do stuff, man, let me tell you, StreamYard is amazing. It sounds like an ad, and it's not. I really use StreamYard for all of my streams. Like it's except for like the PlayStation ones, but like any type of podcast, any stuff where you got to bring a guest in.
StreamYard has been incredibly helpful. I will say that.
Super fire. Makes your life so much easier. Also, hey, I know some of y'all are new. Make sure you're like asking questions and stuff like that. It makes the podcast so much better. It makes it like so much more helpful. Even if you feel like it's a stupid question, it's probably not a stupid question. If it is a stupid question, we'll tell you because we're a little bit mean. But but it's probably not. Like a lot of times it may be something that somebody else is wondering, just like in school for real. So if you have a question, please ask, and ask as many questions as you want. Like if you got 30 questions, ask all 30 of your questions. Please do. It makes it so much better for everybody. Let's see. Yay, education. Says it's in
Did that work? Yeah, you would. I think you did the wrong one. Hold on. Oh, I see what happened. You did one too. Okay, I've got the right one. Hold on a second.
Yeah, send it to both.
You did both emails.
So you got to be one of these.
Listen. Then you throw it on me like it's invalid, Victor. I don't know what happened.
Hey, you know our dynamic. You knew what was gonna happen. Like I'm gonna try my best. You funnel it into something that works. The brains. What up, Chris? Thanks for joining. Welcome.
Nice to have you.
And if you're working on a book, let us know what your book's about. Like, we're here to talk. This is an open.
Did it work?
Open. Yeah, but now I got your picture up, which is funny. I'm just like baby Victor. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You just turn on your camera and you won't see the picture. Yeah, there you go. You're logged in as me.
And then I'm going to leave.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me leave this one. Let me see. Oh, no. Stuff freezing.
There we go. Now you're up in there, and then when you start talking, you'll be back to normal. You can hear everything. You should be. Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, let me test. Boom. I just want to put it back on.
There you go. Yep, look at that.
I'm in there, baby.
Control achieved. Way to go.
I deserve control.
Yes. Yes, especially if you're a monster voice.
I like it.
Monster voice.
Hey, yours is cool.
Thank you. I've been working on my voices.
Are you trying to do more voiceover stuff?
Well, I've been doing voices in WikiListen. Whenever we read quotes, I do a voice for the quote.
That's dope.
Yeah, so it's just a way to practice.
I know this was like
because the cartoon project we have coming up, I'll be doing some voices, so I'll have to be ready to rock and roll.
Ooh, fire! And I know this was like 5 minutes ago, but how do you say this guy's name again? Genndy Tartakovsky.
Genndy Tartakovsky. Tartakovsky, I think.
Genndy Tartakovsky.
Genndy Tartakovsky.
This man has bars. Like it's Iron Man 2. Like he got his heat under his belt. It's heat. Y'all check out this man's track record. Cow and Chicken, all Dexter's Lab. Like
yeah, he's amazing. It's time for us to be on screen. Ready?
28 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right. You're about to get this podcast up and running again.
Ooh, that's the episode right there. I'm gonna write that down.
What?
about getting into voiceovers and stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Let me write that down. Thank you. That's an episode.
And here we go. We are here. Hey.
Hey.
That is
Enlightening.
right. I'm a lot closer to my camera than you are. Deal with it.
No, that was for me. We both just was like way too close.
That's right, everybody. The Arts Academy is back. Now I have my video full screen, so I can't see the comments. So you're gonna have to be comment wrangler. Okay. All right. And so yes, we are back at the Arts Academy podcast. Everybody, what is Arts Academy? Let's remind you. The Arts Academy is a place where we teach you all the mechanics of being in the entertainment industry. Just all the stuff that you need to know to put on top of your talent to be successful. Then that's what the Arts Academy is all about.
Ooh.
I'm Dean Victor Vernado. Welcome back, Deputy Headmistress Roxy Hayes.
Yay. We're back.
Yes, we are back. And let's get right to it. Let's not mess around. I want everybody to get all the information they need. If you're watching live, please feel free to ask whatever questions you want to ask. Roxy will throw them up on screen and we'll try to answer them. Mm-hmm. All right. Here we go. So first of all, we're going to be talking about how to write a book. Okay. And now when I'm talking about how to write a book, obviously there are many, many different styles of books. I'm going to talk about the process that I use to write my book that was just released, called the Anti-Racism Activity Book. If you're watching this in video, there it is, the Anti-Racism Activity Book. By the way, if you want to get to it, you can go to antiracism.online right now and get it before Christmas. Anyway, yeah, because it'll arrive within two days or something like that. It's pretty good. All right, so let's talk about how to write a book. You're also writing a book too, aren't you, Roxy?
Yes, I'm writing a book of poetry, and I'm working on a memoir, but it's not done.
Book of poetry, and you're working on a memoir. What's the title of your book of poetry?
The book of poetry is called Playing with Fire.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Playing with Fire.
All right. I bet my guess is that you'll change it before you publish it. That's my guess. All right. So
shady.
Let's talk about how to write a book. Now, for me, one of the things that I was doing was I was trying to write a book that was a satire. Okay. And one of the things I had to really take a look at is what works with satire. And I also kind of bit off more than I could chew, honestly, because when I came up with the idea of doing a book that is an activity book parody about anti-racism, I was like, this is a great idea. And then when I actually started to do it, I was like, oh, and I got to make them into puzzles? This is hard. And it became very hard, very, very fast. I wish I'd done more research about making puzzles before I started on the project. I did not. I should have.
What's really hard about puzzles? Like creating them?
Well, I mean, it's not that hard to create a puzzle, but here's the thing. For instance, the book is all like funny jokes about racism, okay? And so imagine that you're doing a crossword puzzle, which is actually in the book. There's a crossword puzzle about all the crazy things that Black people have ever been arrested for.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and so, but then, so when you make that crossword puzzle, then you have to make clues for the crossword puzzle and then write funny clues for this crossword puzzle without crossing this line that you don't want to go over when you're making jokes about racism. So like all of those things on top of each other, it was difficult sometimes.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm it's done, so I'm happy. So I'm happy with the results, but it was difficult doing it. Anyway, so that's what we're going into now. For me, the first thing that I did was I had to understand who was going to be reading this book. I had to define my audience. All right. Now, this also seems like a boring part of writing, defining your audience, but there is a difference between doing art just for the sake of doing art and just writing and letting, you know, your mind take you and doing whatever you want to do, and also doing something when you're writing something that is a product as well. Okay, so I'm writing something like this is an artistic expression of mine, but also I'm like, I want it to be a cool thing that people can pick up and buy, and that'll make people like happy to have, you know. And also it also fulfills my artistic want, which is I wanted to make something where people can talk about race, and it was not going to be. I wanted something where people won't run from the conversation about racism. Like the book is colorful, it looks like it's fun, and it has a funny name, so it will draw people to it. And rather than have this book saying, "This is why you're wrong, white man," like if that's the end of the book.
This is why you're wrong, white man. It's a hilarious title.
Who would come to the book? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So I had to determine who I wanted my audience to be, and it really helped me decipher like how what the tone was for the book. I decided that the book was not about for children. Like that's not the goal. Yes, there are some kids who could benefit from this book, but I'm mostly speaking to adults with this book.
Gotcha.
All right. And so then after I had defined the audience of my book, I decided to identify like exactly what I was going to be addressing in the book and how I was going to address it. Okay. And so so one of the things about the book is I thought it would be interesting to kind of let not just be a book where it's like saying, hey, these are things that are messed up in society, in society for Black people. I also wanted to say, also, you should know that we as Black people sometimes have a few preconceived notions about other people as well. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's really funny because like I was writing this note recently where I was just like talking about like that most people do have some thought in their head that is attached to people's races. Most people have something. Like, for instance, I think that white people kiss dogs in the mouth way too much. Okay, I really do.
I don't disagree with that, and I've seen it.
Yeah, well, I mean, but but I've also seen Black people do it. Yes.
Where?
Yes. You look, Google it. Google it.
I don't even want to.
I know, but it's still it's something that I think. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I wanted the book to give everyone the benefit of the doubt that's reading it. Okay, that's what I wanted the book to do, and so that's how that's what I wanted to do when I identified the tone of the book. I don't want the book to just be like, "You are awful." I wanted the book to be like, "These are things that everybody can admit are true."
And yes, Felicia, I saw the pictures. He was correct.
What did you say?
To respond to the comment. Yeah, I saw
the
them.
You were right. There. Yes. Anyway, so I mean, and so I also looked at old highlights magazines and and other activity books. And I looked at the type of puzzles they had in them and what I thought that I could reproduce in the style that I wanted to do. The easiest things to make were word finds and crossword. Word finds were the easiest, okay? Because then you could just get a list of anything, and then it turned it into a word find. There's like programs online that do it. Then next to easiest is the secret code thing, where like there's different symbols or codes for words, so that you can make that secret code thing was pretty easy to make too. Then the next easiest thing were mazes.
What's an anti-racist maze? I want to see that.
There's I can show you one. Here's one. This is anti-racism maze right in the book. It's actually one of my favorite pages. There's two mazes in the anti-racism activity book, but the one that is my favorite I am about to show you as soon, and here it is. it goes, help Geneva escape the conversation before Stacy tries to touch her hair.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So that's so there's there's one of the mazes. Anyways, yeah, and imagine you're trying to do that like over 60 times, like come up with satire that is about anti-racism and also make puzzles. Okay, so that's what was so hard about making the book. It's out there right now. And anyway, okay, so at this point, I had an idea about what kind of activities I wanted to do, and then I really just started digging in and doing it, and it took a long time. I planned out the book pretty precisely beforehand. I had for this particular book, I had like a spreadsheet, and I said what goes on what page, what the joke is, what the visuals are, and I wrote it all down, because then after that, I had to move on from the writing phase to the art phase. And when I wanted to go to the art phase, I didn't want to have anything in my head at all. I just wanted to be able to just keep drawing and keep drawing and keep drawing, So I wrote it out pretty meticulously on a spreadsheet ahead of time. And that is the worst way to write comedy on a spreadsheet. It sucks. It's no fun. I would write in many different ways and copy and paste things to the spreadsheet, but that's how I just got the whole book together. And then it became a thing where I was just making the art. Gotcha. Now, unfortunately, I had to do this all alone. I was actually supposed to be working with a publisher while doing this book initially, but then the publisher did not end up making it through the entire life of the book. Let's just say that.
That's a PC way to say it. Good job.
Yeah, what really happened.
Yeah.
Roxy knows the behind the scenes.
I be knowing.
Anyway, so then at this point, once the art is all done, and that took forever as well. Once the art is all done, then you have to make a book. Now, what I found is that there's so much information out there about how to make a book. I think that you can just look and then maybe refine it a little bit. And I think that for absolutely free, you can go from zero to like making a full book. But for me, the last part of writing this book is going to kind of cross over into the self-publishing the book on Amazon world. And that is, I had to lay out the book. And because this book is a visual book, that was a big part of the writing process too, because the pages had to work, one leading to another. And so I laid out the book. I had to learn Adobe InDesign because I wasn't working with a publisher. So I had to just like roll up my sleeves and figure out InDesign. I did it in InDesign. I laid out the book. I would go to the Amazon site or Lulu, which is another book publisher that I've been looking at. I would go to their sites and I would download their templates. I would look at books that currently exist and decide, where does the copyright page go? What has to go on the copyright page? And then I would Google what goes on the copyright page of a book and compare the two, and then decide, okay, that's what I should put in the book. And I basically I used as much as I could of what I could see other people had done to make my journey easier. I think everybody should do that. Like whenever you're trying to make something, yes, there are areas in which you're going to innovate, but then but everything that you don't have to innovate, then just use exactly what other people have already done and been successprogram with. Just use
Agreed. That. We have a question really quick. InDesign. What's InDesign? I'm assuming that's what that is. So it's just a program. Like you could explain it better, but
Adobe InDesign is a layout program that's specifically made to make books and magazines. So like the whole idea, I'm sure there are probably a lot of high-end magazines that are made within that program.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it has like features, for instance, like you can have a giant block of text that flows on more than one page within columns. So like if you just had 3,000 words, it could paginate them all to be in the book. with one click. And then you can also like drop down pictures, and it'll make the words go around the pictures if you want. Like it's just made specifically for doing that thing.
Correct.
That's right. Adobe InDesign, everybody. Go ahead and get Adobe InDesign for yourself and make it into a cake and sit on it.
What? And it definitely is the industry standard. You're new to this. Thanks for joining us. And
yeah, thank you very much for
the questions.
If we have any more questions right now, then I would love for you guys to ask them. But because this is going to be the end of one episode, we're going to roll into the next episode. But basically, let's just say that in order to write this book, what I really did was I kind of came up with the overall idea for the book. I should have researched puzzle making more ahead of time, because that was a step that was a big part of making the book that I really did not research. So I misjudged how much time it was going to take to make the book. Then after deciding what the book was going to be about, I decided who the book was for, and that helped me then write everything out in a spreadsheet, having everything laid out completely before I went on to the art portion. This is because I was making a book that was half writing and half art. I understand that if you are going to be writing prose, you might have a totally different process. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I have a very different process for writing prose, but I guess we're gonna save more of that for a different show. But the basic idea is just that plan, structure, then execute for writing.
Can I tell them my quick sloppy man's way to do it?
Absolutely.
All right, y'all want to know the lazy sloppy way to do it? All right, so this is what I did for this poetry book. I actually got the idea from Victor. He was like, whatever you want to do, you should do it like every day. Like make a what was the words you said? Your words were better, but pretty much whatever you're doing, try to find a way to do it every day. So I actually started writing poetry on Medium. And then one day I was just like, I'm gonna make this a book. So I copied and pasted all the stuff that I had already been making in Medium and like went through my notebooks. And this was a stupid way to do it. I should have put it in a document, but I just automatically started copying and pasting it in Canva. I was like, I'm just gonna lay it out in Canva. This is way easier. And then it made it way harder for me because I needed to move some pages. Like I didn't know what chapters I wanted to do. I didn't know anything. I just started putting it in Canva, and I did all of it in a day. And I've been working on it now for like a couple weeks because like there's some typos in there. It's I need to relay it out. I didn't use InDesign or anything, which I should have because that's smarter and how it's laid out. It's just easier and better to do. So I'll say all that to say, do what Victor said, plan it out and execute it, or else you'll be having to go back and fix stuff. But I will say the best part of what I did was compiling stuff instead of just like writing a whole new book. Like I had all this stuff and I wasn't using it for anything, so put it together and make a book. So if you already just like write short stories for fun, or maybe you have art, you can compile that together and that's a book.
I mean, some people have Instagrams that could be a book.
Yeah, like coffee table books. I've seen people do that. So Canva is great. It's pretty much like a free design website. So like they have all of these templates. You can make flyers, you can make different stuff. So they have like a book cover thing, and a lot of it's already sized properly. And most of the stuff is free. I should say it's free to sign up, but if you want like extra features, you have to pay for it. It's like $12.99. But Canva is really, really good. That is something you should look into if you're trying to design or make stuff. It's cool. Check it out. Canva.com.
My wife did one of her recent books in Canva, self-published work. She did it all in Canva.
Oh, she did the whole thing? The cover and did she lay it out first? Yeah, because she's smart.
She worked with somebody. I don't know exactly how they laid everything out. I don't know the answer to that. Sorry.
Okay. About to say, just don't do what I did. I was too loose. I was too loose with it. I just think it's easier if you know what you're doing and not just like, oh, I'm gonna just put this stupid. So yeah, look at Canva and plan it first.
Yeah, but I'm overly meticulous about a lot of stuff. So I'm not necessarily saying what I do is good for everybody.
It's meet the middle. I feel like that's what it is. Like, still play with it, but that I made it so much harder for myself.
All right, so everybody, what we want you to do is check us out on all social media at Alt Arts Academy and artsacademypodcast.com.
Is that
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to actually talk about how to self-publish a book on Amazon. How to self-publish a book on Amazon. So if you're watching this live, the awkward part is us pausing between episodes of our podcast. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Arts Academy podcast. It's me, Dean Victor Vernado, and Deputy Headmistress Roxy Hayes. What's up, Roxy?
What's up, Victor? Nice to see you today for the first time.
Very convincing. All right. So today we're going to be talking about how to publish your own book on Amazon. All right, because I am actually going through that process right now. Well, I actually just went through the process. My book is live on Amazon right now. I'm going to do the plug and then we'll be through with it. Here it is, the Anti-Racism Activity Book. It is a satire, is an activity book satire. You can get it at antiracism.online, everybody. Anyway, so let me tell you, first of all, why I think what the benefits are of publishing a book on Amazon, and then I'll tell you how to do it. Have you published a book on Amazon before?
No, I'm actually going through the process now. So a lot of this is going to be helpful to me too. I'm still kind of confused on some of it. So
Oh, well, we're going to go through the whole thing. Well, I mean, so here's some of the reasons I think publishing a book on Amazon is great. One, if you do it right and you use their Kindle Direct Publishing, where, for instance, like when somebody orders this book, it is printed specifically for them, okay, and then sent to them within like a day or two, okay? So I have absolutely no inventory, okay, which is great. I have no inventory, and then I never run out of stock. If this book became a hit, then I could keep selling copies of it forever and ever without having a problem. Number two, you make way more money than you would through a regular publisher. Of course, with a regular publisher, you usually have more reach, but if you're one of those people that has a decent amount of reach, what just went up there? I'm sorry, I missed
she says awesome, and then it's clap.
Got it. And if you're a person that has a decent amount of reach, then it can mean a lot. So I'm going to tell you straight up that every time that this book sells, I will make $9.89. Okay, and that's a lot considering the book is $19.99, and it costs $2.50 to produce. Okay. So after taxes and Amazon's cut, I still get almost 50% of the cover price of this book, and it costs me nothing for a store. I don't have to. You get what I'm saying? So like every time somebody on Amazon tries to buy it, I make almost $10. Not only that, Amazon is a very trusted website. So. You don't have your janky website that people are trying to buy stuff on. It's Amazon, and it can go directly to you. Okay, so that's what I think the positive things are about that. You have, and the reason I'm taking advantage of this as a creative, there's a huge opportunity for creative people right now because everyone has figured out how to use the internet to sell straight up garbage. Okay. People can sell anything on the internet. But if you're a creative person and you can use the techniques that people have developed to sell anything and then really step up the product, like for instance, I feel like this book is better than a lot of fun books that are out there. Like it has kind of like a better, like I'm trying to make something that sticks to people's brains, but but now I have like a delivery system for this book that's really reliable and really cheap, and where I have the most potential like to make real money with it. And we'll talk about that in the future. But yeah, that's a huge opportunity because it's not just books. It's all kinds of ways that creative people can put things out there that they can use these systems that people have put in place to sell things on the internet or market things on the internet. Think about like drop shipping. If you've heard the term drop shipping, think about drop shipping, but something that's really good, that's your work.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wait, before you use the next part, I do have a question. I don't know if you're going to answer this or not. Do you know how much the percentage usually is for publishers? I know it varies, but do you know like the range?
Yeah. Often for publishers, people usually make about, I think, like less than 10% of the cover book price. Yeah. Like less than 10% of the cover book price.
Dang. Okay.
So that's the way it usually is with publishers.
All right. Very interesting.
Yeah, but however, they do have that whole network that they're trying to do.
Way bigger reach.
You make less than 10% sometimes of the cover price. You do often get a better advance.
Okay.
Depending on who you are, because not everybody gets a great advance.
They're like, shut up, we don't know you.
They pick and choose. All right. Okay, so setting up an Amazon account to do direct publishing is actually really easy. You can use your current Amazon login on the just go to Amazon Kindle KDP, or just Google Amazon Kindle KDP and just go right to that site. It really just walks you through the process of how to start your account. I'm going to tell you the very short version of how to publish a book, because I think that when people look at direct publishing, what they're going to see is like, there's all these buttons, all these places to go. What am I supposed to do? But the really short version of this is you make a PDF of your cover of your book, and then you make a PDF of your entire book, and then you upload them, and that's really it. That's most of it. Most of it is you make a PDF of the cover of your book, you make a PDF of the inside of your book, and you upload that. That's really the basics of it. There's a lot of like random little steps on the way, but you can pick what type of cover paper you want, or what type of internal paper you want, or you can pick the size, and yes, there's all these different choices, but the basics of it are, if you know the answer to those questions, which you probably do, or you can find. The basic is just upload the PDF of your title page, of your cover, and then the PDF of the inside of your book. That's the main meat and potatoes of it, and it's actually pretty easy. All right. So once you have your publishing account set up, also they'll ask you to set up like I think it's like your tax forms and everything like that, and it'll walk you through that as well, so that you can actually get paid. Then for me, first I had to research like what sizes books can be. And then, so I basically just went out and measured a Highlights magazine. And then I actually decided on a smaller size than the Highlights magazine size, because I wanted to, keep it more in like the one-handed book size rather than the two-handed book, because this is more made for adults than children. Yeah. I think I actually have a book from those Highlights books right here.
So always be researching.
Yeah. Okay. So this is my book next to the Highlights magazine book. If you can see it, you can see that it's just like about an inch bigger on the top and about an inch on the top, an inch on the side. It's bigger than mine by far. But that is because like this book is actually meant for children. That's why it's so big, the Highlights magazine thing. And then when I know I'm aiming for a different crowd, like I kind of kept it around that size. I wasn't 100% sure about whether or not to use Amazon Publishing, because Amazon Publishing, they serve such a mass market. I was suspicious of the quality of the book, because I don't want people getting like a crappy quality book. And so first I went to a publisher that does the same thing, but they do it for more money, and they do it at a higher level. It's a company called excuse me. Hello. I don't know what happened. That was a frog. It's a company called Lulu, It's a company called Lulu, and they do basically the same thing, but just like on a higher level than Amazon. Okay. But with them, for every book that is ordered through them, I would make $4.11 rather than almost $10.
Yes.
So, but I did compare them both, and I can actually show them to you side by side, and we can just talk about it really quick.
Once again, always research. There's a lot of stuff that we don't realize like goes into stuff. So just research.
Yes, I would definitely say research. So I ordered a test copy of both of them, and I ordered a test copy of both of them to compare. Okay.
Does it cost to do the test copy? Yeah, right.
Yes, it does. It costs. It does cost to do the test copy. I think you can pay the production cost for the book. So, for instance, Lulu. This is Lulu's book in my right hand, and Lulu's production cost is $4.11 per book. Amazon's production cost is $2 per book. Okay, about $2.50. And then the differences between the books are Lulu's colors are a little bit deeper, but not to a degree where I'm like it's worth half. Me making half the same amount. Lulu's cut is better. So Lulu has like when they cut, they put like a coating of wax on the edge of the books, and then the Amazon book is just dry cut paper. Okay, but also not like a deal breaker. Lulu's is just straight up nicer though. And then Lulu can print on the spine. With a book that doesn't have with a book this size. Amazon was not reliably. They said they can't reliably print on the spine for a book this size, and then Lulu can. So you can see where Lulu's books have a spine, and then this one has no words on the spine. Gotcha. But other than that, they're identical. But what I was checking for was the book going to be high quality coming from Amazon? The answer is yes. The book from Amazon is high quality, so I could feel comfortable selling with this Amazon book. The only reason they can't print on the spine is because Amazon is not comfortable printing on a spine of a book that is less than 75 pages long. This is 61 pages long. But if you do not have printing on your spine, something that I just learned from my wife, because she's published books before, if you do not have printing on your spine, you can't be in physical bookstores.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Because how they're displayed, how can anybody tell what your book is about? And so you need to have printing on the spine. Whereas I'm trying to sell the book online myself, but I'm also going to try to sell a bunch to bookstores. And those bookstores, they're going to get the version of the book, which costs a little bit more to make with the printing on the spine, though.
Okay. And we do have a question. Is it spelled Lulu, Lulu?
That is correct. It is spelled Lulu.
Okay, cool. Check it out.
All right. And so Lulu and Amazon, they both have error checking. And they have one you'll say, I'm going to do a book this size. When you figure out what size your book is, then they will give you templates for that book, and they'll say, okay, your book, if it's this size, this is how big your paper is. This is where your margin should be. They'll tell you all of that. You have to write it all down because it's all really important. Because if you don't follow those instructions, when you upload your PDF in the end, when it checks for all of that stuff, it'll bounce it back to you and you'll have to do it again. How do I know? Because I did it a couple of times by not reading everything very clearly. So you do that instead of me. Read it very clearly. Then I'd go back and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or I should have done this. It says so right there. So yeah, just follow those instructions. Making the cover, I ended up having to make the cover myself. I didn't have time, nor did I trust somebody to do it instead of me. So making the cover is the same thing where depending on the type of book that it is it going to be hardcover? Is it going to be paperback? They'll give you a template for a book of your size with your book's number of pages. And it does matter because like the more pages your book has, the bigger the cover has to be. So you have to follow the template that they give you. Here's how I created my cover. I did it on Adobe Express, but you can do the same thing on any other software. Basically, I took their template and I just put their template on the back, the full size of the project, and then I made the template like semi-transparent, and then I just did stuff over the template so I could just see exactly where everything was supposed to be, like where the barcode went and everything, so that I followed their template like to the T exactly. Because once I was finished, actually the thing that I didn't have to worry about most was the cover, because it printed exactly right. Like everybody was happy, so it was all good. So just follow their templates, and then once you're done, you upload, and then they review your book, and then they decide whether or not it can be on their platform. And then once they make a decision, then it is done. Now, two things, a big difference between Lulu and Amazon is proofs. Okay. So a proof of a book is just the version of the book that you get before you release it to the masses. Lulu forces you to buy a proof of your book and to approve it before it will accept your book. Okay. They're like, buy a proof and look at it before we can send this out to people, which is fine, because buying the proof actually only costs the cost of making the book plus shipping. So it's usually like $4 to $10. And so you just buy the proof, you look at it, and then once you physically approve the proof, then you can then have your book published, and then they will put your book on Barnes and Noble's website. They'll put it on Amazon. They'll put it in a whole bunch of places. Like they'll distribute it for you electronically. And in some cases, if you're really lucky, people might order physical copies of your book to be in their store. So Lulu is a great place to go to. But with Amazon, you do not have to approve the proof at all. You can just put your book up there and hit go. However, they do have AI which will look through your book, and if something is wrong, it'll kick it back to you, which it did to me. So there you go. Those are the major differences how the proofs are done. Are there any questions before I move on to the almost end of this? I hate hearing myself talk about stuff like this, but that's why I'm recording this stuff, because it used to be that people would come to me all the time and they would ask me how to do stuff. And I used to say, okay, take me out for a drink or dinner, and you can ask all the questions you want to ask, and then I will, at the end of that dinner or drinks, then I'm done answering questions. But then when the pandemic hit, I started saying, okay, how about you can ask me questions, but I'll record it and we can make it a podcast so that more people can learn from it. And that's how this podcast began.
It's very helpful. I do have a question. Have you done the Barnes and Noble one as well? Is it the same process? Do you know?
You mean through Lulu?
I mean, like separately, because they don't they have a separate?
No, I'm getting on Barnes and Noble through Lulu.
Oh, okay. So you don't even have to do it separately at all.
Right. Lulu is an aggregate, meaning that they can distribute you to different platforms. So like
Gotcha.
Lulu can get me on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. The difference, though, books that I sell on Barnes & Noble and Amazon through Lulu, I will make $4.11 on. But books I sell through Amazon myself, I'll make $9.89 on.
Gotcha. So you're going to do both. So you can do both for any.
Absolutely. I definitely do both. But the one I advertise is my listing on Amazon. So like when people go to antiracism.online, they actually get to my Amazon. Actually, here's another thing. Also, I'm using Amazon Associates. So I'm getting an affiliate fee for selling my own book.
Mm.
So, and Amazon encourages this, by the way. So you can sign up as an Amazon associate and use your associate link to sell your own products. And then so you get an extra 4% on top of the money that you're making. Well, yeah, it was Amazon's idea, and it is really smart, and I'm doing it already. And one of the things that I told one of my friends that is the best idea is if you're going to sell something that can sell forever. So like this book can be up there and sell forever. And I have a URL which is easy to remember so that I can throw that anywhere and this book can sell forever. And if you're let me get to the end of this list. And there's a couple of things I want to say specifically to people out there who are comedians as well. Because there's other stuff that's specifically for comedians. I think this is a really good idea for. Okay. So, having a custom URL is a really good thing to do. And when people mention or post your book or anything, try as hard as you can to always respond to people. That's like one of the best things you can ever do. All right. Okay. So really, just as a quick recap, I will say, make your Amazon KDP account or your Lulu account or whatever you're going to publish with. And remember that though it may look like a lot of choices, the main thing is in the end, all you need to do is create your PDF and create your PDF for your cover of your book, create your PDF for the internal guts of your book. That's the most important thing. Okay. And if you want to skip a few steps, look at a book that's already been published, measure that book, make your book the same size as that book, use the same kind of paper, just like use what someone else has already done to get past those steps, which you don't want to have to be an expert in bookbinding. No, just use what other people have done. Get them walkthroughs, everybody. All right. So let me talk specifically to comedians for a second. So I know this comedian, his name is Anthony Kapfer. Do you know Anthony Kapfer? No, it doesn't matter. But what he did a long time ago was he wrote a book and he called it Book the Book. It's like a funny book. And then he just ordered author copies and just took it with him wherever he went. So wherever he went, a show that didn't pay anything or a show that paid very little became shows that paid him sometimes hundreds of dollars a show, because if he had a really funny set, people would want to come up and support, and he had that book on him for people to buy all the time for like 10 or 15 bucks. And then that just became a thing that he did. And as he traveled around, every show he'd sell a few books. And so like every show became a couple of $100 show rather than like a $10 or $15 show.
That's smart.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you think about that, like, for instance, like when I go do stuff or when I speak, I'll have a bunch of author copies of this that I can sign for people. So like every appearance that I make is now going to be multiplied. Anyway, that's good information for everybody, I think.
I agree.
Hopefully. Are there any questions that anybody have about now anything that we said or the future of the Arts Academy podcast? If you don't have any questions, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to have questions. I just hope that people have gotten some good information. And if you didn't get any good information, at least I got to feed my ego by talking for an hour.
And isn't this what it's all about?
Yeah, right?
No, I got some good information if nobody else did.
I'm sure somebody got something out of it.
Yeah, I think Felicia was with it. Shout out to Felicia.
Exactly. Perfect. So if you guys want to check us out, please check us out at Alt Arts Academy on all social media and artsacademypodcast.com. I am Dean Victor Vernado.
And I am Deputy Headmistress Roxy Hayes. And Felicia said, this was great. Thank you.
No problemo. We will see you again. All right, let's end this podcast.
Bye, everybody. We're Arts Academy. That's our song now.
I can't hit the stop button